was really self-critical about that part of me. I didn't want to be like that, and I didn't know what to do about it. Anger is a very misunderstood and misinterpreted emotion. Oftentimes, when you or someone you know expresses anger, it's usually in place of other emotions that are harder to feel. Hurt, grief, sadness, embarrassment, shame, loneliness. These emotions can be a lot harder to feel and express in comparison to reacting with anger. These painful emotions can make us feel powerless. And on the other hand, anger can be our mind's way of attempting to regain some power. For example, you might be trying to talk to someone and you're feeling unheard or ignored. Your subconscious mind is probably feeling really hurt and powerless in that moment. But instead of experiencing and expressing those painful feelings, you might react angrily to the person that was not listening. Or maybe another example is someone who repeatedly cancels plans with you. Your subconscious mind might be grappling with feelings of rejection and loneliness. But rather than openly acknowledging those feelings, you might respond with anger or irritation towards the person who keeps cancelling. I found this concept easier to conceptualize when I saw this visual, the Anger Iceberg. It's this idea that the anger that we see at the surface is just the tip of the iceberg in comparison to all of the emotions under the surface. The part underneath the water is our subconscious and all of those painful thoughts and feelings that we're not ready to face. Anger can serve as a protective layer, shielding us from confronting more challenging emotions. But diving deeper and recognizing and understanding those underlying emotions, we can gain a profound insight into our inner world and the emotions that drive our reactions. Whenever I express anger, I always think to myself, why am I feeling powerless right now? Because this anger is trying to make me feel big and strong and powerful, because at my heart I'm feeling powerless in that moment. Whether it be I'm feeling unloved or I'm feeling unheard, and I'm not sure how to express those feelings, and so what happens is I react with anger instead. It was about 3 years ago when I first realized how much of an impact anger was having on my life. When I started to take away my automatic angry reactions, I uncovered a lot of sadness. I hadn't realized that the anger that I was expressing was actually masking a lot of pain that I was carrying with me. But working on removing that surface level of anger really allowed me to get to the root of the pain that I was feeling and changed my life completely. I feel like I am a completely different person and just genuinely happier in my life. I hadn't realized it, but I was using anger as a coping mechanism for my emotions. So instead of feeling sad or unloved or lonely, I would just react in anger, and it was this protective barrier between me and the world. So I didn't have to feel unheard when someone didn't listen. I would just get angry. Or I didn't have to feel unloved when someone wasn't there for me. I would just be angry at them. And even though being angry all the time was awful, it wasn't as bad as those painful feelings that I had been suppressing. I remember the first week that I tried to reduce my anger. I cried a lot, and I think it's because I hadn't really ever let myself experience those underlying emotions. I was so busy putting up barriers and protecting myself with anger that I was really out of practice with feeling hurt and pain and loneliness and feeling unloved and unheard and all of those negative emotions that anger protects you from. But the human mind is amazingly adaptable, and it didn't take me long to learn to cope with those painful feelings. And it doesn't mean that I never get angry. It just means that it happens a lot less. And when I do get angry, I can ask myself those questions. What is behind this reaction? And what can I do for myself and for those around me So whenever we experience anger, or we see someone who is reacting with anger or irritation, we can understand that there is probably something underlying that anger. This understanding can also help to reduce conflict. We're less likely to react with anger when we know that someone's anger is coming from a place of pain. We can start to empathize with a person that is reacting in a way that is protecting themselves. And we can also show ourselves empathy and self-compassion for the anger that we express. Oftentimes, there are unmet needs underneath the anger, and you or the person that is angry might not know what that unmet need is, but figuring this out will be far more helpful than focusing on the angry reaction. One of the most important parts of working on your anger is self-compassion. You have to be so kind to yourself. I remember when I first realized that I was expressing all of my pain through anger, I was really self-critical about that part of me. I didn't want to be like that, and I didn't know what to do about it. But starting from a place of self-compassion and telling yourself that it's okay that you are this way because of the experiences you've had in your life, and you can grow and change from here. Berating yourself for how you've been in the past will not allow you to move forward to a better place in the future. Start with being less angry with yourself, and you will start to be less angry towards others. In my video about feeling your feelings, I also discuss the importance of finding the root cause behind emotions, which are often unmet needs. That video will be linked on the screen. I hope you found this deep dive into anger helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.